Reply bit Alpha 4.
Okay. So today we are on Charlie. We're going to do the same game, correct?
Right.
Gillespie ground, Cherokee 9082 uniform at Golden State with Charlie. Taxi 27 right.
Cherokee 9082 uniform, Gillespie on hold position. This is a 28 uniform. Confirm you have the information, Charlie. With Charlie.
There it is.
Okay, push that.
So now, when we get up over Lake Jennings and make our turn north, we can flip over. We can go to COM 1 and go to the ATIS on that one. In fact, we'll go ahead and load that in now. Okay. So we can hear that, and then we can flip over and be listening to Ramona Tower and call them and tell them we're coming in for a landing.
At what time would I, when we go out into East County, we're always talking to other traffic. Should we be doing that?
Nope, we're not going to do that.
We're going from controlled to controlled area.
We're going from controlled area to controlled area. We'll have a little bit of in between, but we only have about 5 minutes between the time we leave here and start getting ready to enter theirs.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Alrighty.
So,
go ahead.
Gillespie Tower, Cherokee 90820, uniform 27 right, ready for takeoff, eastbound departure.
Cherokee 82 uniform, Gillespie Tower, taxi up to and hold, short to Roma 27 right.
Clear for takeoff, 27 right, Cherokee 82 uniform. Alright, so without delay, that means boogie. You don't have to go fast to make the turn, but just don't dilly-dally.
Good. Just a 1-9 right, number 2.
Alright, check your wind sock, set your aileron for a little bit of a crosswind. A little bit of a crosswind, now go. Keep your hand on the throttle.
Information Delta is current 1270 at 8, altimeter 3002.
Airspeed alive, rotate.
Airspeed alive, rotating.
There you go. Nice smooth rotation, I like that. Okay. Alright, so our after takeoff checklist should come out about now.
Passing up and holding short runway 27 right.
After takeoff. It's takeoff and climb out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, we rotated. Best angle, 64, best rate, en route climb, electric fuel off.
That's the cruise climb, be about 87. So we're doing about 82. So lower the nose a little bit, still full power.
That's weight Alpha.
But lower the nose a little bit.
Can you say again?
It gives us better visibility and better cooling of the engine, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get it to about 87 and trim it for 87.
Your radio's coming in unreadable.
And let's head to Lake Jennings, since that's kind of our go-to place.
That's just a 28 Alpha. If you can hear me, just click your mic twice. Runway 27 right, clear, touch and go.
Okay, so we're out of their airspace now, right?
Correct.
We're over their airspace because their airspace stops at 2,400, remember?
988, runway 27
So
clear, touch and go.
we can go ahead and start tuning other frequencies. So I'm going to tune in Ramona's Tower on this one. Okay.
Yeah, 257 Bravo Papa Ramona Tower in their right traffic, runway 27 reported.
We happen to hear him talking to somebody else over there. So let's go ahead and get their ATIS in. We've got it here. So let's turn to COM 1. Go ahead and turn to COM 1. And we'll see if we get their ATIS.
Wind 270 at 7, visibility.
Head towards Verona. And remember, we're going to go to 3,500 max.
Got it.
Okay. So we're headed to Verona. So let's turn, and I'll let you actually see it on the
runway 27 clear to land. After landing,
very nice.
It says on here, right?
Sure.
On the chart. Okay. So let's head and split Verona Casino and San Vicente. So there's San Vicente Reservoir. There's Verona Casino. So let's fly. And if you look out there, you'll see the hangars and all.
Yep.
For Ramona Airport.
Okay.
Watch your altitude.
Dropping down.
All right.
When I turned over and looked at the stupid thing,
that's why you got to have her trim for straight and level. So get your nose down, get back down there quickly. Okay. Because we only have 300 feet between us and trouble. Okay. So now, what we're going to do is give them a call. I'm going to take care of the radios for this.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sure.
So we have information whiskey, correct?
Correct.
All right. So Ramona Tower, Cherokee 9082 uniform over Verona Casino, 3,500, landing whiskey.
Cherokee 9082 uniform, Ramona Tower, enter left base for runway 27, report 2 miles southeast.
Left base, runway 27, report 2 miles southeast, Cherokee 9082 uniform. Okay, so let's go ahead and light him up. So our before landing checklist would include what items? Our approach and landing checklist.
Let me check.
So you got your checklist. So fuel pump and landing lights on there, definitely.
Well,
right?
let me actually look at it.
Look at it, yeah.
Okay, mixture set. We're set, all ready to
Full
rich.
yep.
Keep on my altitude. Electric fuel pump is now on.
Right.
Fuel selector landing lights on as required, so we want these guys
turn
here.
those and that one.
Okay. Elevation's a little bit low.
No, that's all right. So now we're going to start a descent.
Okay.
All right, and then what else needs to be done on that checklist?
Flaps is required.
All right, now we're getting close. All right, so let's start a descent. So let's push your nose over, pull the power back to about 2,000 RPM. Let's come on downhill. Now, the elevation of Ramona's airport is 1395. Call it 1,400 feet. So pattern altitude is 2,400. Okay, it's 1,000 feet AGL. So pattern altitude is 2,400. So we don't have that much altitude to lose, right? Okay, we're 800 feet above pattern altitude, or 1,800 feet above the airport now, because they're 1,000 feet higher than our airport.
Correct.
All right, so you see the airport. This is a very nice approach. We're going to come in and make a left base, and he wanted us to report when we were 2 miles southeast. 2 miles southeast will be about where the houses start.
Jack 7 Bravo.
You see that big house there and all like that? That's about 2 miles southeast there, so we got a little ways to go. He'll probably see us before we get there. So this is a lot like coming in from Hamul to 27 left at home, except everything's 1,000 feet higher.
Okay. Hey, we want to be at 2,500?
24, and then we're just going to kind of keep a nice, easy descent going.
Cherokee 2 uniform, runway 27, cleared, touch and go, left traffic.
Cherokee 82 uniform cleared for 27, and this will be full stop and taxi back for this one, 82 uniform.
Cherokee 82 uniform, runway 27, clear to land. After landing, you can taxi to runway 27 via Alpha Alpha 1.
Okay, clear to land, 27, Cherokee 82 uniform. All right, so here we are. We're doing great. We are now 600 feet above the runway, so I'm going to put in a little bit of power and stop the descent. Okay. All right, so let's hold altitude here a little bit, just for a little bit longer. It's nice, slow down, but hold altitude. Now, let's put in 1 notch of flaps. So look at your runway. This is all about sight picture stuff, okay? Since this isn't our home, we don't have a blue roof or any of that fun stuff to play with, okay? So about here, we can start to begin a little bit of a descent. And now you're on the base leg, put in your 2nd notch of flaps. And see where you are in relationship to your runway. Now the gate, the 300 feet above the runway elevation, is at 1,700. So make your turn, start your turn. Okay. Coordinated turn, nice gentle turn. Let your nose come down. We need to. We're landing, so we're going to let it come on down, and let's get her stabilized at about 70 knots. Put in your last notch of flaps. Now look how wide that runway is compared to ours.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's wide, but let's use the center of it. So let's move over. Let's slide to the right a little, like we were practicing. Nice. Kind of on the high side, aren't we?
A little bit.
So we'll just pull this power out. We'll just come on down at about 65, 70 knots. You'll feel a little bit of extra sink here. I don't know why it is, but it always seems like there's a little bit of an extra sink. Keep your nose aligned with the center of the runway. Wind is right down the center, so let's bring your nose up a little. Now hold that, and as we sink, bring the nose up. Nice. Okay, now get rid of your flaps and get on your brakes. Oh, we're going to roll out to Alpha 3 here. So get on your brakes. The reason why I got rid of the flaps is it gives us better braking. Okay. Now you're at a good speed. You don't have to slow down any more than that. You're good. Now, I want to point out something. He's giving us taxi back instructions. He's not having us contact ground. But you see the sign here that says the ground frequency?
Yes.
It does give you
left
that.
Or right?
Turn right. But while you're taxiing, since he's already cleared us to taxi back, okay, we're going to do our after landing checklist.
Okay. Shall we stop and do it? Or?
No, you can just do it on the roll because he
after
cleared
landing.
us to roll.
Okay, electric fuel pump is off. And
Turn it off.
Lights.
Turn it off. Okay.
Oops, because I'm going to be turning it back on again when we take off, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, take a look around. Let's slow down a little bit. Take a look around. This is a cool place here. Okay. This is the transient ramp. This is where, if you came over here, this is where you would find a place to park. So here's the scenario. I told you this is kind of a scenario-based orientation. In the not-too-distant future, you're going to be doing touch and goes by yourself in this airplane.
Okay.
Imagine if you're downwind doing touch and goes, 27 right or 27 left, and somebody balls up an airplane on the runway and they close the airport.
Got to come here.
Attention all traffic. Gillespie Field is closed until further notice. Okay? Everybody and their brother is going to be scrambling to go to Montgomery, which is already a very busy airport. So your primary escape route is to come here. I'm going to show you your secondary escape. If for some reason this wasn't open, I'll show you that on another flight. So we're going to go to the left, go to the run-up area. So you would come over here, go to ask to taxi to the transient parking, tune in ground if you have to. The frequency is right there, so you don't even have to worry about it. And ask for progressive taxi if you don't remember how to get to transient, and go park the plane, call us on the phone, you know. And then somebody will come get you, or we'll come up with a plan. Now, stop here. I want you to look. So they got some signs. All personal equipment stay on the pavement. All right, not a problem. Aircraft faced west like we're doing for engine run-up. They don't want you blasting towards the hangars. Okay. For noise abatement, climb to 2,000 feet MSL, so 2,000 feet on our altimeter, before we start our crosswind turns.
Okay.
Okay. And then it gives us some instruction about going into Class Bravo airspace, which you aren't going to do. Okay, but if we were going on a long cross country from here, it tells us what frequencies to tune depending on what direction we're going. And then final notice is it says no ultralights. Well, we're not an ultralight. So the only one that's really important to us right now is the noise abatement one.
Correct.
Okay. So we would get over here, you know, once we say, okay, the airport's open again, can you make it back? Yeah, I can make it back, no problem. So you would come out here and do your run-up. So we're not going to do a run-up, but I will do so since we're not doing a run-up, it's real important that we have to go back to our run-up checklist and go back to what is appropriate. So what we'll do is we don't have to check the flight instruments, but I would check and make sure that this hasn't precessed too much, and it has precessed a little. So make sure that that's properly aligned.
Let's see, we want to go to right there.
Okay, good. Everything else is looking fine, so give it a quick look. And now I want to get to, I know the controls work, I just flew with it, right?
Yep.
But now, and that's because we hadn't shut the engine down and walked away from the plane, otherwise we'd do a full run-up.
Okay.
Okay. So now we will do flaps as required. So no flaps for this takeoff.
Correct.
Okay. Trim, so now we're going to set the rudder trim again. And the elevator trim.
Okay.
Stabulator trim. Now, seats, All right, make sure that those are still good. Restraint systems fastened. Door windows closed and latched. Check your mixture.
Mixture's all the way up.
And now finish out with boost pump and all the rest of it.
Electric fuel pump on. Fuel selector still the fullest tank will stay in that tank. You said we wanted to switch tanks, or we show it?
Yeah, we'll switch tanks on our way back. So I don't want to do that for takeoff. I'll do that once we're doing touch and
because
goes.
you don't want to run the risk of it not picking up the fuel.
Right.
Okay. Engine.
We have whiskey. So what I would say now is Ramona Tower, Cherokee 908T uniform at runway 27, ready for takeoff, staying in the pattern.
Okay.
Now, he's going to tell us to make left traffic and all like that. All you have to say after he gives us our instructions is clear for takeoff 27 right. Or he may tell us to hold short if the other guy's coming in for a landing. Either way. So you ready?
I guess so. Here we go.
You want to practice it first?
Ramona Tower, Cherokee 908 uniform, 27 right.
27.
27. Ready for takeoff. Staying in the pattern.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Shall I?
Go for it.
Ramona Tower, Cherokee 908 uniform, 27, staying in the pattern.
Cherokee 908 uniform, Ramona Tower, hold short, runway 27.
Hold short, runway 27, Cherokee 8 uniform.
Hold short, 278 uniform.
Cessna 56 Delta, you're 3 miles southeast, correct?
That is correct, 56 Delta.
Cherokee 82 uniform, make left, close traffic, runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 27, Cherokee 8 uniform.
Clear for takeoff, Cherokee 908.
150.
Full throttle.
Full throttle. Keep your hand on the throttle. Call out your airspeed alive.
Airspeed is alive.
27, clear touch and go, left traffic.
We are now 50.
Clear touch and go, 27 left traffic.
Rotating.
Touch more right rudder and you'll be perfect. More right rudder. So now typically they also would like us, the Ramona guys would like us to get past this road here too. Okay. So, both and rather than either or.
We are now at 2,000 feet.
We are indeed. Now you can make your turn, making me a nice square turn to 180 degrees.
So
turn left. This is left traffic.
We don't. Less rudder, Clint.
Less rudder, not left, but less.
There we go.
Right. Perfect. Now, pattern altitude here. Keep coming on around. You got to square this off. So keep your bank in until you're square, and look back over your shoulder. Now you can square up. You can see your ground track. Right.
There's square.
Now, downwind is going to be about down this tree line here, this little creek.
Okay.
And pattern altitude is 2,400, so don't exceed 2,400. So this is about your level off time and your power back and turn times, just like going down the valley back home. So stop your climb by pushing your nose over, continue your turn, and pull your power to about 2,200, 2,300 RPM. Yank it on back. By the time you get it back there, we've climbed another 100 feet. So you can be a bit more assertive with it. Okay, you see him coming out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I don't need this for the moment.
We want to stay right at 24?
Yeah, 2,400 feet. Okay. So he's got to clear us to do our touch and goes, doesn't he?
Yep.
He hadn't done it yet.
Nope. And we're right at the tower base.
So you could just say,
Cherokee 8 uniform, say request.
Cherokee 8 uniform, touch and goes for 27.
Cherokee 8 uniform, runway 27, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 27, Cherokee 8 uniform. Okay, she said say request, because they just changed controllers. Okay, so now when you get a beam your touchdown point, first step is power, right?
Yep.
Then hold altitude and there you go. So do her now. Power, 1700. Hold altitude and get your flaps in. You're down to 80. Let the nose come over and start our descent. We're leaving our pattern altitude now. Now, we don't have any blue roof to play with. It's half the fun of coming over here. So now we have to do it the way real pilots do. We look back and find that about that 45 degree from our touchdown zone. 45 degrees is going to be halfway between your wing and your tail.
Right there.
Right about there. So why don't you start your turn? Stay at 80. Don't hold back. Better come on downhill. And put in your second notch of flaps.
We'll be following the Cherokee number 2 for 2756 Delta.
Okay, so now be assessing. Are we high or low?
We're way high.
All right, so do something about it. Let's pull a little power out and make a turn. Let's not overshoot the runway. This is good. I'd pull out some more power then. And put in your third notch of flaps, and we'll slow to 70, 65 to 70. And let's see if we can spot what spot on the runway isn't moving. That mythical spot that doesn't move. So let's move over to the center line. There you go. So the spot that's kind of growing in our windscreen, where is that?
I would say
where would we hit if we didn't round out?
50 feet in front of the 27.
We're going to hit probably about that third strike past the 27. If we just keep doing this, that's about the spot that's growing. So since it's out that far, we're going to round out. We'll touch down at about the 1,000 footers, but we need to get some power out, don't we?
Ramona Tower.
So now let's bring the nose. Let's fly level a little bit. And now let's let it come on down and bring the nose up as it does. Bring the nose up. Okay. All right, that's fine. Now, flaps.
That's the 24780 Ramona Tower. ID.
We got plenty of time.
Rotating.
Yep.
We're going to get better at that, Rand. We're going to get better at that.
Of course we are. Everybody goes through this. It's usually the place most people get their plateau is during the round out or landing phase. Almost everybody struggles with that.
That's the 780 left base 27 report.
Normal.
Haven't gotten the feel yet.
Now, so what I'm going to do this time is, I'm going to override you. So you go ahead and do it, but if you feel pressure, that's me.
Got it.
Okay?
Because I need to feel what it's supposed to feel like.
Right. Okay. So now let's slide over to the right a little. So I'm going to help you here. We're going to slide this way without turning our nose. We're just going to side slip it a little bit. You see how I did that?
Got it.
Okay. So now you've got the flight controls. I'm just going to override a little.
Okay.
All right. So you've got a nice descent going. Right now, it looks like the spot that isn't moving, the spot that we would hit if we didn't round out, is about the first strike past the numbers. Okay? That looks like what's growing to me. The threshold looks like it's moving underneath the nose. The 1,000 footers, which are the big blocks out there, look like they're moving up a little.
Okay.
So just past the numbers. So I'm going to just keep a little bit of power. And you just keep us right at about 70. This is looking real good. Now just keep the nose down. Relax your hand. Keep your nose down. Keep your nose down. Keep your nose down. Now, let's pull and let's just fly down the runway a little bit. Sinking a little bit. Now, each time we sink, let's bring the nose up a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. See that?
Yes.
Okay. So, as it sinks, I'm just putting in a little bit more. Go ahead and get rid of your flaps. You've got all the flight controls. Call your airspeed alive and your rotation. Keep your hand on the throttle.
Rotating.
Okay.
Tower 780, you're allowed to give intersection takeoff.
That's 780, yeah, if you want Alpha 2, that's fine. Hold short runway 27 at Alpha 2.
Hold 27 Alpha 2, 780.
Ramona Tower, Cherokee AT uniform. We're on upwind and we'll be southbound departure request.
Cherokee AT uniform, Roger, south departure, please.
Turning south, Cherokee AT uniform. Have a good day. AT uniform, we're on base leg, still negative contact on the Cessna.
Cherokee uniform, traffic will be no factor, continue inbound.
Continuing inbound, turn final, AT uniform.
Cherokee 5 Quebec, you got to read that to runway sign.
We're fast, but we're not high, so let's get on our flaps. You've got the plane. You've got the plane.
One
Hold
in.
short, 27 right.
Yep.
Quebec.
Turn.
Thank you.
Get your second one in. We'll get her slowed down. Let's slow down to 70 with 2 notches, right? So, pitch. You've already got the...
I'm in 2 notches, so I want to
slow down.
bring the nose up.
Yep. And pull that power back, because if we're high like this, we need to come on downhill.
Okay, there's 70.
Let's get on the center line.
Use that rudder.
Use that rudder.
Come on, baby.
You still got some power in there. We don't need it.
Power's out. You still way high, boss?
We're still way high. Let's get in that 3rd notch of flaps. And let's slow down to 65, 70 knots. If we slow down, for a brief second, we'll be high, but then we'll start coming, we'll have increased the descent angle. So now, you're on the glide slope, so put some power back in.
Full stop, 27 miles.
Check it 25 straight, Roman
Now
27
just do a nice normal landing. This is beautiful.
27 miles, 25 X-ray.
All right, you can bring that power out, start flaring. Start flaring, start flaring, start flaring. Clint, that was all you. I didn't touch a thing.
Yeah, you're lying.
I didn't touch a thing, I swear. Now just roll straight ahead. We'll get off at Alpha.